Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Victoria here if you are new to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a YouTube Q&A. So I asked you guys a series of questions from my Instagram, and I'm basically just going to dive right into those ones and hopefully answer them to the best of my ability. I haven't actually read any of them, so I want this to be as organic as possible slash not rehearsed, so hopefully it goes all right. Let's get to it if I can find them. First question: what is it like to live with a bodybuilder? Basically you're going to be going through a whole lot of dishes, a lot of laundry, and it's a lot of cleaning because Regan just eats a lot of food. So I feel like we have so many dishes, even like I'll clean like the whole kitchen and the next day it's like turmoil. I just don't even know what happened. And then in terms of laundry, it's also a lot of laundry because he'll wear like 2 or 3 outfits a day, and they're not normal size clothing, they're quite large. Obviously training is their job, so that takes a priority over a lot of like normal things. So other than that, it's pretty normal for me. Like we've always been dating. He's always been a bodybuilder, so it's kind of like all I know in terms of our relationship. But you're definitely gonna be prepared to do a lot of cooking, a lot of cleaning, and a lot of laundry. Do you want more Frenchies or just a baby? Oh my goodness, if I could have all the Frenchies in the world, I would have a whole house of Frenchies. And for a while I was like almost convinced we were gonna get a third Frenchie, but I spent the weekend at my mom's and she also has a Frenchie, and the 3 of them, and it was like, this is crazy. Like I don't think I could do all 3 of them plus then have kids in the future. So I think we're gonna stick at the 2 Frenchies because they're like the perfect amount of love, and they're just best friends. And then we'll introduce a baby at some point into our family. Do you have eyelash extensions? Your eyes are so beautiful. Well, thank you. No, these are my eyelashes with a lot of mascara on them. But unfortunately, only my eyelashes seem to grow really fast. Like my hair doesn't grow. I don't have thick, like luscious hair, just the eyelashes. So at least I got one of the things, but they are natural. I don't get eyelash extensions. I just put quite a bit of mascara on them, as you can see. What form of birth control do you use? I currently use no birth control. I actually haven't used birth control for probably 4 years. I just track my ovulation, and I'm just like very mindful of when I'm ovulating, and yeah, just be careful. But I haven't had any problems like not being on the pill. I tried 3 different contraceptive pills, and I just had bad luck with every single one. And I've also tried the copper IUD, which I had a horrible time with. So yeah, for me, it's just none of them have really worked and have just like not been good for me. So being free of birth control has definitely been what's best. And obviously I'm in a relationship, I'm married. If I got pregnant, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So for me, it's not really that big of a deal. So I prefer to not be on anything. Can you give us a breakdown of what F45 is all about? I'm intrigued. So I actually did a full video on F45. So if you go, I think it's 2 videos ago, I did a whole what it was like to do F45. I did every single day of the week a workout. So I would just check that video because I feel like I went pretty in depth to like what I thought about it, what it was like, my experience, etc. What symptoms made you think that you would have anxiety? So my story with anxiety actually started when I was around 10 years old with panic attacks. So I first started having panic attacks it was more performance based. So I'd have them, I used to be a competitive swimmer, and I would have them during racing. So in the middle of a race, I would feel like I was gonna die and I couldn't breathe anymore, and sometimes I would have to stop or I'd have to completely slow down. So yeah, and then when I was 18, I started getting really bad anxiety. It was a combination of just completely irrational thoughts. I could not turn my brain off. It was like I was obsessively thinking and thinking and thinking. The type of thoughts I was having and the thinking I was having pushed me more into like a depressed state. So, and then I was also having physiological symptoms. So I was just having, you know, a constant lump in my throat. I was having chest tightness. Sometimes I would have like increased breathing or having trouble breathing, but a lot of it was more mental, and then just mainly based on like just the crippling fear of like irrational things that were going to happen. And just I would isolate myself. I was afraid to do things, to be on my own, etc. So that is how I kind of knew. But yeah, I've had anxiety since I was 10, so it's not been like something that just kind of came on at a certain point in my life, but it definitely got worse when I was 18, and that's when I actually got help with the form of prescription and also therapy. How do you deal with insecurities? So, I mean, we all have our own insecurities, and they're different based on who you are as an individual and I guess what you put emphasis on. So, I mean, I have my own insecurities and there's things that I have to constantly work through, but there's some things that I found that have helped me. So, obviously dealing with those insecurities, acknowledging what they are and acknowledging like where they're coming from. So like, where are you getting this external like pressure to look a certain way, and that's kind of what you're comparing yourself to. Like, why are you feeling that you need to look this way, and what are those external things that are leading that way, and kind of addressing what's going on and why you think you need to look that way and why you're not happy with how you look. And also just accepting that like we're different, everyone's different, everyone looks different, we all have different things going for us, whether they be physical or, you know, not physical. I mean, we're all just different, unique individuals, and I think it's important to understand that like we're not all going to be the same, and that's, you have to acknowledge your strengths and your weaknesses and try not to compare to others. I think comparison is a big thing, and for me it's like, if I find there's people on social media that I'm like constantly comparing myself to, I unfollow them. Like, unless they're bringing me some kind of like value to my life. If not, I know it has to do with my own insecurities, but still I'm protecting myself. So if I don't need to be, like, for example, if you follow me and for some reason you find that you're comparing to me and I'm not providing any value to you, then I would suggest unfollowing me. Like, it's just as simple as that. So it's just doing things and being mindful of what makes you feel more insecure, what doesn't. And I always say, like, work through your problems. Like, therapy is the best thing. If you're having like severe insecurities that are really interfering with your day-to-day life, I would consult like a professional to work through it and kind of just underlie the issues that's going on. But it's very unique and very individual to everyone. So my advice would be to just kind of like dig deep and layer like what's going on and kind of address what you're dealing with. It can be painful, but it's definitely helpful. So I'm getting quite a bit of questions on workout split and also like a structured plan, and I would just suggest going to my website and getting my 4-week lean muscle building program. And I'm not trying to be salesy here, it's just, it's a good program, and I feel like if you're having trouble with a workout split or structured workout plan, this is definitely would be very helpful for you. So I would just check that out. Did you do a bulk to build muscle? If so, how did you handle looking a little fluffy? So I haven't actually done a bulk in like so long, but I used to be a bodybuilder, so I would do, you know, contest prep, and then I would do an off season where I'd focus on building. And it's definitely something you have to work on mentally. It can be difficult to see your body change in a way that you're not used to. I mean, we all instill in our heads like to progress, and just like as a young woman, it's always about losing weight, losing weight, losing weight. So when you're trying to do the opposite and you're actually trying to put on muscle and you're putting on weight, it can be a little bit of a mental fuck, if I will say so. But it's just kind of focusing on what your goals are. So like for me, when I was in that state, I was so focused on making improvements to my physique. I knew what I had to do in order to make those improvements, and I needed to put on muscle, and in order to do that I need to be in a calorie surplus, and I needed to put on a little bit of weight. So it's just kind of on days that maybe you're not feeling your best, just reminding yourself of what your goals are and why you're doing what you're doing. And honestly, like, ditch people's opinions, because everyone's gonna have something to say, whether it's positive or negative, and you can't let other people's opinions or what they think get in the way of what you want to do in your goals, because that's the biggest thing. It's just like, focus on what you want to do, what your goals are, and just freaking do it. So how do you balance eating well and having a social life? My struggle right now. So you guys don't need to like eat super structured all the time to see results. Like, I eat very intuitive, I eat healthy majority of the time, but I also enjoy things. And most restaurants you go to, there's always healthier options. So like, never deprive yourself of going out and enjoying socializing, because like that's what you do when you enjoy life, right? You need those things in your life, or you're just going to completely dig yourself into a hole and you're not going to enjoy what you're doing, and you're going to fall off the wagon. So I mean, you can eat healthy when you go out, and you can also have treats when you go out. It's just everything in balance, everything in moderation. Don't completely deprive yourself of eating a certain way, because like I said, it's just not sustainable. It's not healthy mentally and physically. I mean, obviously if you're on a contest prep and you're competing in a bodybuilding show, that is different. That's an extreme on the spectrum. But if you're just living life and just trying to, like, let's say, lose a little bit of weight, there's no issue for you incorporating like having more balance in your diet, as long as you're doing it properly and in moderation. How do you stay motivated in life with working out? What inspires you? I'm not always motivated, to be completely honest. I struggle a lot of the times with, you know, staying motivated. And that's just the reality of life. Like, motivation comes and goes, and it's kind of what habits you install in your life and what makes you feel better and what you know makes you feel better. So for me, working out and living a healthy, active lifestyle makes me feel better. But can I say that I've always been motivated to follow that lifestyle? No. Last year, or I guess it was like a year and a half ago, I was dealing with so much anxiety, and like I would maybe get to the gym twice a week if I was lucky. So, and my motivation at that point was extremely low because I just was struggling mentally. So it comes down to like how you're feeling mentally as well. Like, if you're not feeling good, you're likely not going to be able to do the things you want to do. So obviously getting your mental health in order, feeling good, and then creating habits in which you do things you enjoy. Like, do workouts and exercises that you actually like. If you don't like going to the gym and lifting weights, do something different. Go for a run or go for a walk. As long as you're moving your body and being active, that's the most important thing. Don't force yourself to conform to a type of working out that you feel like you need to because you see on social media or people say it's better for you. Just do what you like. For me, for example, like, I don't love lifting super heavy. I know if I lifted heavier and had, you know, challenged myself more in terms of lifting heavier, I might see better results with my strength and with my performance, or like with even just my physique. But I personally don't really enjoy lifting that way. So for me, it's like, it's finding that balance of what I like to do, what's still going to challenge me, and what I'm going to stay motivated doing. What is your husband's job? My husband is a full-time professional bodybuilder, also social media entrepreneur. He has his online coaching business, his online training business. He works with different sponsors online, so doing marketing and promoting them. And then he also competes in bodybuilding, and that's also part of his job. I feel like when people ask that question, they don't really understand the whole social media world and how you can make a living from it, but you very much can make a living from social media. And a lot of people who you follow who have larger accounts are likely making a living off social media, and that is actually their job. And the amount of time and work it takes to put into content creation is a lot more than what people think. So I feel like when people are like, oh, what do you do with your day? It's like, oh, like, it actually takes a lot longer than what you think to do everything I'm doing. But yeah, that is what he does for work. How to get rid of cellulite. So cellulite, I don't know why us women put so much emphasis on cellulite. I mean, I guess it's because everywhere you see is smoothing out products, or magazines and airbrush things that are just all smooth. And I remember even like, I've had cellulite since I hit puberty at like in grade 7. And I remember I grew up as a competitive swimmer. I remember looking in the mirror with my like bathing suit and be like, why do I have cellulite? Like, and I would look at other girls that were swimmers, they didn't have it, and it was something I really like overanalyzed and kind of obsessed over. And I mean, it was something I still am like, I'm better now. Like, I don't really care to have cellulite, to be honest, because we all have cellulite. My ass has a ton of cellulite. Like, it just is what it is. And I don't really get the whole thing about it, but I remember for a long time having like a huge issue with it. And I have like a dimple on my bum, and like you can see it when I do workout videos and stuff. And like, I remember like I was so insecure about it. I would wear like shirts covering it, and just like cellulite was like such a big thing that I was so hyper focused on. But like, so many of us have it. Like, unless you're super lean or just your genetics you just don't really have that kind of fat in your bum, then that's one thing. But like, pretty much every woman I know, and I know most women who are in the fitness industry, they all have cellulite or of some sort of on either their bums or their legs. Like, it's just we're women, we have body fat. Like, that's just what it is. So I'm not going to give you tips on how to get rid of it, because that's just irrelevant in my case. I'm going to give you tips on how to just embrace your cellulite, because we all freaking have it. So it's just being mindful of when you're looking at social media and you're looking at magazines, being mindful of what you're seeing isn't always what you get. You know what I mean? There's flattering lighting, flattering angles, things are photoshopped, and like, we're not necessarily going to post our like a picture with all of our cellulite. So you know what I mean? It's just the reality. But like, pretty much every single one, me included, have cellulite. So just own it. We all got the dimples. Have you ever wanted to be an elite athlete outside of being a total gym babe? So yes, I actually used to be a varsity level swimmer, and I would consider that quite elite. I would train upwards to 5 hours a day. So that was like the thing I did growing up from age 9 to I think I quit at 20. So yes, I definitely have been actually like an elite athlete, but now I just enjoy being more balanced and working out for my overall mental and physical well-being. But I do miss aspects of being a competitive athlete, and I kind of even just did that even when I was a fitness competitor. I felt like I was able to have like that competitive side, but I do really enjoy just like living life and being balanced like what I am now. But I have been at that spectrum and I have loved it in the past. All right, this is a good one, because I feel like so many of us deal with this, and I feel like there's so much pressure for us to keep going and work harder and this and that we just like kind of push ourselves to the point where this happens. But how do you deal with burnout? So I kind of have acknowledged what I need to function properly in terms of my, like, I need a lot of sleep. Like, I need sleep. That's a priority to me. Like, I will not get up early to do crazy workouts. I will not stay up super late, and I will not work throughout the night, because I don't function properly. I don't function optimally, and I need sleep to be feeling good, to be feeling like me. So that's one thing. I'm not gonna like, team no sleep, let me work harder. No, I need to sleep. That's one thing. Also, workouts and stuff, like some people can push their bodies and do 7 workouts a week or train, 3 hours a day. Like, I can't. I don't recover like that. I feel like I'm constantly inflamed. I don't feel good doing that. So like, I take rest days. Sometimes I'll take a whole week off for training if I feel like I need to. So it's just like, I'm very in tune with how I'm feeling, and when I need to rest. And I've just kicked that notion that like, I can't rest because, oh, I'm not hard enough work, or I'm not motivated enough if I'm taking rest. Like, we need rest. Like, our bodies can only be pushed so much, and eventually you're just gonna hit a wall. And it's like, why would you put yourself through that? So like, yeah, if I understand, like, you can get more done if you're working longer hours, but eventually you are gonna hit a wall. And some people don't need as much sleep. Some people can do more and not need as much recovery. We're all different. So I feel like it's just being honest with yourself and kind of figuring out what you need to function best and for you to be feeling good, and just going with that. And if people are like, no, you should sleep less and do more, or this and that, just ignore them. Because we are all different, and you got to just find what works best for you, and that's all that matters. Do you plan on getting any tattoos? By the way, I love you so much. Oh, thank you, first of all. Yeah, actually, my sister and I kind of wanted to get a tattoo to symbolize our relationship. So my sister is like my best friend in the whole world. I'm getting corny here. And also, I've been very transparent about my, dealing with mental health, and obviously my sister's had to deal with it from an outsider's perspective, just being my sister and kind of seeing me go through it and whatnot, and also being there for me. So we kind of wanted to do the semicolon, which basically is like suicide awareness, and it just says that like, you could have put a period at the end of the sentence, but instead you put a semicolon, which means the story continued on, which is just like with life, you could have ended your life, but instead you decided that like, you're going to continue on. So it's just like a very symbolic thing of like mental health, depression, suicide. And we kind of wanted to do that, but with like a little heart instead of the circle, just to also symbolize our relationship together. So that's kind of what we've been thinking of getting, but we haven't got it yet. And I'm still kind of a baby. I'm scared. I don't know tattoos. I'm pure of ink, and I'm just a little nervous to get one. But I think I just get like a little one right in my finger, just so I have a constant reminder of like, to always keep going, even when you maybe feel like you want to give up. Don't give up. Was Regan your first boyfriend / partner? So no, I had one other relationship that was about 2 years long prior to Regan, and I had other boyfriends. There was like a few of them, but they were never like super serious / ever super interested. So no, basically just the one, and then Regan. I mean, Regan and I have been dating since I was 21, so it wasn't like I had a whole lot of time before that to really like be in a long relationship. But I also dated someone in high school, but like, yeah, he dumped me, so. All right, next one. How do you rebalance your energy? I catch myself thrown off easily. Yes. I feel like my energy, like I get drained so easily, and I feel like I have to take like mental naps, if that makes sense. Like sometimes I'm just like, okay, I need to like go and lay down for 20 minutes to just try to like turn my brain off. I feel like if you utilize like mindfulness, that'd be another way. Or if you just like, you have to like give yourself quiet time or alone time. Like if I'm with like people all weekend long, like socializing, I need like my own time. Like I'm like peopled out. I'm like, I need to just be in quiet with myself and like my minion PJs and a good book, and that's like, So that's how I rebalance my energy. I feel like you kind of have to like figure out what works for you, but I definitely need like little like 25-30 minute mental naps, or I need to just like have alone time, or just don't do anything, have a good book to read. But that's kind of like where I would say works, what I would say works for me. How did you know it was time for anxiety meds? So I actually did a whole like video Q&A on my like mental health journey slash like questions. I feel like it would probably be better for you to check out that video. If you just go down, I think it's like 5 or 6 videos. I'm gonna see if I can put the link here or like the video here, but I'm not that tech savvy, so I make no promises. But I did do a mental health Q&A, and I feel like I addressed like a lot of mental health questions. So I definitely would utilize that video, and I feel like it'd be a lot more helpful just because I went more in depth with everything. So please check that out. Time when your relationship with Regan was at its worst. So, I mean, we've never like had horrible times in a relationship. We've obviously had ups and downs. I can only really think of like one time in our whole relationship that was like pretty, like we went through a pretty rough patch, but other than that, we haven't really had, I mean, our relationship's 6 years. We are just basically in the midst of starting a marriage, so I'm sure we'll have many more ups and downs, but we'll come to that as the time comes. But no, we have been, you know what, I mean, we work through our problems, we communicate, and again, like we acknowledge that like no relationship's perfect. We have our ups and downs, and that's just what it is. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that because I answered quite a bit of questions, and I don't want to leave you bored. If you even made it through this whole video, like, thank you. I'm not sure if anyone will, but I hope you guys enjoyed the Q&A, and I hope I was able to answer some of your questions, or I hate your question at least. I didn't get through them all, obviously, because there was quite a lot, but thank you for watching, and please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you did enjoy watching it, and I shall be back. Till next time.